Hello, hello, hello. Hi, welcome. I am Sylvia Hayes, and you are watching Good News at Primetime. Tonight, our show is Who's Looking Out for Us? Who's looking out for us? Because as we become seniors, people start putting you aside. Young people don't want to deal with you anymore, and you're left behind. Okay? So, who's looking out for us? That is the topic for tonight. And I'm just going to go get right on to it. But before we do that, Power Thoughts. My book is empowering you to be successful in life. Get that book. Won't regret it. The power thought for today is never take anything for granted. Your life, your family, nor your friends. Okay? Never take anything for granted. Because, as we get older, we starting to realize we have our family to depend on. We have to depend on our family. Let's put it like that. Um, you treat your some parents, they treat their children any kind of way and think they're gonna be there for them. But those kids, they ever remember that Mama was mean to me, and she think I'm gonna take care of her now. Nope, that may not be happening. They might put you in the old folks' home. Okay? So don't take your kids for granted. Don't take family and friends for granted. And having them to do stuff for you and you treat them in a kind of way because one day you're going to need them. Okay? So I'm just going to go right on ahead and bring on my co-host, Mr. Reggie Drummer. Hey, Reggie, how you doing?
What's up there, Miss Sylvia, and the good news audience? It's good to be here. Powerful topic tonight. Definitely want everybody to like, share, subscribe over here, Square Mile Media Atlanta. This is going to be probably one of our best topics ever. When you think about seniors, junior seniors, there's different categories for us. We the baby boomers, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, we are the first generation of motivated seniors. Back in the day, it wasn't like it is now. Uh, families were a little bit different. Now you got seniors like around 60. That's we counted the younger ones. If you around 60, anybody born after 1960 is one of the new baby or the baby boomers. Well, really after 1945, I think that's when they said the baby boomers came on board, and
Uh-huh.
that's when everybody started focusing on stuff like retirement. Uh, and now we're in a situation where it's a lot of us. Now, in some
Yeah.
situations, we're changing the game. Uh, Not just in how you take care of yourself or who you depend on to take care of you. Uh, a lot of us are very independent and we're more mobile. It used to be a time when you hit about 60, you just sat on the porch and waited for the sun to go down.
Yeah. We
It's a
don't do
lot
that
different.
anymore.
Oh, it's a lot different. And
Mm-hmm.
but it's certain things I noticed we have to make a lot of adjustments to, whether it's be technology, seniors are making, uh, whether it be cell phones, social media, all these things that we make adjustments to. Um, but the big thing is who's thinking about us. Uh, I think as baby boomers, we're the first generation to really think about growing old.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know when I was younger, I didn't think about growing old. But now that I'm there, I'm taking the place of my ancestors, my grandmother, my mother, taking their place now. So I'm thinking about being old. Even
Oh
though
yeah.
I see people who are my age and a little bit older, I'm going, they old. But I don't feel old. I don't feel, I'm still energized and ready to get out and get on the dance floor and everything else. But I remember when I was younger, those people, they were sitting on the porch, doing old people stuff. You
Waiting on the
know, but
sun to go down.
yeah. So, but I don't do that. And a lot of people don't do that. Some people say, "Why don't you act your age?" It's like, what age is that? I've never been this old. How am I supposed to act?
Yeah. Well, as we do grow, with the years, there's a lot of different things that are different. For instance, going to events. Um, as you grow older, there's different things you have to pay attention to that you might not have thought about when you were younger. Okay, standing in
Mm-hmm.
lines. Standing in line at a restaurant or an event place. As a senior, we have to be looking at a lot of those things. I was doing an event uh, at Grant Park, and parking was so far away. A lot of stuff dealing with security. You just couldn't just drive into the event. We had to park almost a mile, look like, from the event, and then you had to walk across the park to the event, and you had to carry all your, uh, your stuff, whether it be chairs, tables. You look at something like the Dogwood Festival. It's you got to get there early. You have to figure out logistics, bathrooms, a lot of things you didn't think about when you were younger, that you have to think about now. Do you like crowds? A lot of times you don't want to be around a big crowd of people. People are not as uh, not that they just moving quicker. So as an older person, you might get trampled over. Not even because they moving. They doing
Yeah.
different things. Uh, you might not be used to people smoking out and doing other things. So as an older person, we have to make a lot of different adjustments. A lot of different adjustments. When you park somewhere, used to be a time looked like they might have enough handicap spots. But if you think about it, especially when you're shopping and going to events, all the handicap spots are taken up because there's a lot of seniors out here that's taking over
Yeah.
the handicap spots. You go to Walmart, all of them filled up. You take the what's those little carts that you ride around in, the motor scooters in the
Mm-hmm.
stores. A lot of them, you got more seniors riding them. So it's kind of interesting finding your place as an older person.
And I tell you something else too. Um, when you get older, the younger generation don't want to hang with you. They plan their
Ah,
party, go skating. The younger generation they'll get together and do their thing and don't invite you. It's like, why didn't you invite me? You know? No, I feel left out because they're doing their thing. I'm going, what, am I too old for you or something? But I don't feel old, but they treat me like I'm old. You know? And that's the bad part about it. And the thing is, when with your kids, when you really get old, they have their own life, and you're gonna be wanting your kids to hang around you, come visit you, and stuff. But they're gonna be too busy doing their own thing. So who's gonna be looking out for you? You know, what if you
well,
get sick or something? Who's gonna look out for you?
well,
That's the thing. Why can't we go out and party too?
well,
Yeah,
some of them.
I still like partying. I still like going out and doing things. Just because I've had a few birthdays doesn't mean I don't like living. You know, I still like living. And another thing, Social Security, Congress keep talking about taking away the Social Security or cutting it down and stuff like that. What about when they get old? What they gonna have? Of course, they have the Congress money. You know, they're probably gonna be paid for the rest of their lives. Probably. I'm not sure how that works, but they might not even have that to worry about. But they taken away from the other people, from the rest of the community, who's going to need this money.
Well, you think about it. Like I said, the baby boomers. We are the first generation to be where we lived. A long time. People retiring, and there's less money in the coffers. You look at Social Security, what we call social insecurity, because
Hmm.
we need more young people working. Okay. See, when the baby boomers came up, it was so many baby boomers that they made retirement easier for folk that started to retire in 1960. Okay, because the
Mm-hmm.
baby boomers were on the clock. They were working. Okay, and they were taking the money out of baby boomers' income to supplement the older people. And then older people weren't living as long as they live now. The average median age back in the 60s, they might have made it to what? Maybe 65,
Yeah,
70 years
so
old.
man.
Now you got seniors living 80, 90. You know, my dad is still 91. My mom, she was 90. Uh, they were able to live off retirement 20 and 30 years. The average
Yeah.
person
I
that
know
was
somebody right now who's 103 and still
okay,
going.
and still well, and
Still going.
they're but their Social Security was created and paid for by the folk that were working. Well, our
Mm-hmm.
generation, probably in the next 10 to 15 years, you're not going to have as many. Well, it's already started back in 2000. You don't have as many younger people working generating Social Security. Okay. So that means
Right.
that it's going to deplenish. Plus, people, I see younger people filing for disability. A lot of older people in their 70s, they're trying to get some disability, and you got people in their 30s getting disability. Okay. When it comes
Mm-hmm.
down to some of the benefits, I was just recently talking to a senior, and she's 81 years old. She's 81 years old, and her um, EBT benefits were cut down to less than $20 a month.
Ooh.
Yet some of the younger people that look like they should be able-bodied, no kids or nothing, might be getting $100, $200 a month. Okay, now
Mm-hmm.
that means that someone has to look after older people because if they don't file or make those claims, on there's nobody looking at them. They can get left behind. Because a lot of times, a lot of this information now is done over on the internet. It's done online, and you got to have somebody that has your best interest. I was doing some work with some seniors, and one of the things we found that a lot of seniors were overpaying for a lot of things, whether it be cable. We had seniors in their 70s paying $200 a month for satellite and cable bills. And they wasn't
Yeah.
watching all this stuff or internet, a whole lot of things. So it takes some family members to be proactive with some seniors. Now, a lot of seniors pay attention and monitor all these things on their own. But there will be a time when you're not able to do all that stuff on your own. You're going to have someone you can trust within your family that will look after you on these things. Make sure
Yeah.
that you're getting uh, the benefits. Make sure that nobody's taking advantage of you. Uh, all those things. So we have to prepare. And like you said earlier, you never know who's going to be taking care of
Yeah. You're right.
you. Was 94 years old, but she was about 94 years old when she passed. They had no kids. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now both of them lived extended lives. He actually lived to be 102 years old. Well, they had no kids. So the people that had to take care of them were cousins, great cousins. And when the the lady died, she was like 93, 94. He was still living. So he lived another probably 5 years, and he was in he had a good retirement because he was ex-military, and he was at a senior care facility, and the people that came by to see him were great nieces and cousins and people like that, because after you reach a certain age, you're going to outlive a lot of your friends. You're going to
Yeah.
outlive a lot of the people you work with, that you did social events and activities with, whether it's church. So it's encourageable that as you get older, you build bigger circles of people. and
Yeah.
that's difficult sometimes.
Yeah, it is, but it is important though that you do get those circle of friends. Sometimes those family members leave you behind, and it's just the friends who's there for you.
Yep.
So it's very important to have that circle of friends. Somebody who can call and check up on you, see how you're doing. When your family won't do it, your friends will. So you you got to have them too, so they can be there. And being going to a assisted living, that's good. You can socialize, but then when you're in the convalescent home, that's more isolated, if you ask me. And and people put their family members there, and they just leave them there. They might go once a week, once a month, or something like that to see them. And they're old. They want the family members. They want to be seen. They don't want to go out like that. So we have to think about that for ourselves when it's time for us. Do we want to go out like that? So we want to make that circle of friends. Um, shoot, just fight for the things that make people happy.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
you want to be happy. Have these family go to Big Mama house and have these family gatherings and all of this. You want to do that.
one of the biggest things, and we never know how it's going to turn out, but you got to try to take care of your health as best you can. Okay.
Hmm.
Statistics show that the healthier seniors are and the more active they are, the quality of life is better. I mean, money
Yeah.
wise, you got to have some decent money coming in. You got to have some pretty decent health. And you got to have some pretty decent activities, whether it's church, civic activities. A lot of seniors still go to the gym. A lot of seniors participate, whether it be bowling, dancing, other activities, so they have a more well-rounded life. And plus, they interact with their kids. Some seniors, uh, when their kids grow up, the kids come through and they become grandparents, okay? And as grandparents, they really involve into the lives of their grandkids. They might be the ones that take them to school. They might be the ones that pick them up from school. They might be the ones that's celebrating the birthdays and different things. So they right there into the family circle, and that almost guarantees them a place longevity wise, because the kids remember them. Now, in the case of some males, especially after you get divorced, okay, a lot of males are
Mhm.
not as deeply involved in the lives of their grandkids as women are, okay? So you see a
Yeah.
lot of men, if they're divorced or if they're not real close. Now, if you got men that got daughters, oh, those men real. You got daughters. The men tend to have a higher quality of life as they get older because the daughters are seeing about daddy. Daddy was there with them. He made sure their lives were involved, and granddaddy is there. But in a lot of cases where men are not that involved with their children, and then in turn their grandchildren, then you don't have a connection there with the family. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah.
Many women have a better connection with the family. Uh, Now, what problems start to happen is stuff like dementia, Alzheimer's, uh, different things, because when uh, you lose your mental capacity, a lot of times that's a lot more strain on family members. So when you can't take care of yourself, that's why they have to opt into either bringing someone in that can take care of them if you got enough money and resources, or you have to place them in a facility that can take care of them. You know, and those are
Yeah.
some of the things. Now some older people plan it out. They say, you know what, I don't want y'all to have to. They might have a daughter or son that lives out of state, so they might be proactive and say, okay, either I'm gonna move in with you all, or they might be really involved in their local churches, their minute, all this type of stuff. They want to stay home. Okay, they want to stay in their hometown and this and that. And then they say, well, you know what? I'm a downsize, put me in a senior facility where all I gotta do is go to the room, move around. You always got somebody looking after you. They prepare the meals and all that type of stuff. So that's what some seniors are opting in to doing.
Yeah, but the thing is, with senior assisted living, you got to make sure you have enough money to stay there.
Oh
Cause
yeah.
I just recently heard where this lady, she sold her house, moved into the senior assisted living. Now her money is running out, and she got to move out and get an apartment or something.
Mm.
So they cost. So you have to be prepared. They have these organizations where people will come in and help you. You know, they help seniors with housework or cut the yard and stuff like that. I should have got that and written it down. But they have that program out there where they can help you do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you can stay at home if you can stay at home.
and it's good, like you said, to be involved. If you join AARP, and it's a couple other organizations for seniors that keep them in the loop.
Yeah,
They monitor stuff like insurance. They monitor things about health, and the more involved you are, the better your chances of surviving. For instance, even when it comes down to reverse mortgages, some seniors, you know, if if both of them there and they both in good health, I've seen seniors that they downsize, you know, uh, and if they had a home and that home is paid for, one of the built-in systems is, and you hope that your kids are live in a house that you raised them in. Okay. Now, if that happens, then you got somebody built in because the grandparents there, they kind of active. Again, they fitting into the mold. They're raising the kids and all that stuff. And you got somebody that's going to be looking after them throughout their life. Now, some families, as they get older, they empty nesters. The kids go in one direction, the others go in the other direction. And their idea of retirement or older life is not really there being babysitters for the grandkids. They want to travel, and as long as you can remain healthy and vibrant, you can travel around. They're seniors in their 70s, riding around in Winnebagos, touring the parks, things like that. Well, that works until your health demises. As long as you keep a good quality of health, and it can work. And
mm,
then there's seniors that uh, team up with other seniors. There's a lot of senior clubs. As you get older, you get involved, especially ladies. Ladies do a lot of trips. I was up in Massachusetts, and there was a busload of seniors. It's about 10 or 12 of them, mostly women. Okay, they took a tour, and they do things like that to keep them healthy, to keep them active. Okay, so
yeah.
as we grow older, we have to look at things like that. And then you have to look at either reducing costs, eliminating costs, or sharing costs. Okay. Like I said earlier, seniors shouldn't be paying $100, $200 a month for a phone bill,
No,
$200 a month for cable.
no,
Uh,
they be getting over on the seniors.
oh, yes. So
That's
you
what
have
they
to,
be doing. They be
yeah, you have
they
to
get over.
monitor. Yeah, you have to monitor a lot of that. Now, there's some groups and organizations that come in and monitor seniors and seniors affairs. One of the things that, as you do get older, people are a little bit more private. They don't want people, how they say, I don't want you in my business. You don't need to be in my business. But I've helped some seniors, and even though they were not family members personally, but I was able to. The lady said, "Well," I said, "Well," I said, "You paying a lot for your TV bill." That's what I said. And I asked her how much TV. I don't hardly watch TV. And I said, well, you paying about $200, and I felt good. But again, that takes some time. That takes a pretty open-minded person and somebody with the time that's going to look out for your seniors. And I hope that in your family or in a circle or somewhere, you got somebody that'll look out for you. Uh, there, and that's the big thing as we get older, because sometimes your kids might not be in the same city you in. Okay, so you're gonna have
Right.
to build some relationships with people. I remember my mother, uh, you know, the neighbors. There was a little girl on the side that lived next to my mom, and she made some kind of connection with her since she was about 5 or 6 years old. Well, she would come by and see and knock on the door to make sure my mom was okay. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now some neighbors are not as older as they get. You know, they're not as friendly or as sociable to outside people. You know, but if you can keep building relationships. Now you don't want mama and grandmama to be out there hanging out with the young people. I've seen some folk, and this was just what they were doing. They was hanging, hanging out, but they were well taken care of within the community. You know, they said, "This my G mama. She wasn't kidding to nobody in the neighborhood, but they looked out for her."
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. And there are people like that. Yep. They look out for the older people. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
with the utmost respect too. They give them the utmost respect,
yeah.
but they hang out with them. So, one of the things some of the stores do, they give seniors a discount on certain days. A lot of times it's on Wednesdays. They seniors can go in there and shop and save 10% on a lot of stuff. And then there are some stores. I'm trying to remember where it is. You seniors get a discount every day. But you have to ask for it. That's
Yeah,
for sure. You have to ask for it, because if you don't ask for it, you ain't getting it.
don't give
You
it to
have to
you.
ask for
And you know what? That's another thing. You know, as you get older, as long as you can think, your mind, your faculties are in sync. You can attach yourself to younger families and make stuff happen. Case in point, uh, those grocery stores that have discounts. Okay, if
it.
you got family members or extended family members, instead of everybody spending all that money to go into the grocery store, take Big Mama with you, take Granddaddy with you, and get that discount. Some seniors, and I remember there was an older lady. She didn't have no kids. Well, when her husband died, and she had to be about 70 years old, she
Uh-huh.
started taking in college students as boarders. Okay. Now, what that did, now she had to set some rules up, because uh, but she always kept somebody in the house. Okay. Up
Okay.
until uh, I always remember it will always be someone from the school there for the summer or a couple times a month. That helped her with the income, and it also kept her connected with somebody younger. It's something about being connected with someone younger. Now, if you got a regular family, you can get it through your grandkids and like that. But if you don't
Hmm.
have a regular family intact, you have to create outreaches. It might be in the ministry. You might find yourself, uh, working with young people in the neighborhood, or young people at your church or civic organization. But the big thing about as we do get older is being involved,
Yeah.
staying
Yeah.
active.
Yeah, and to keep your grandkids in your life, because sometimes the kids, they be all involved doing their little thing. Sometimes you might have to say, "Come and visit grandmama. I haven't seen you in a while."
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
stay relevant.
yeah, you because otherwise they into their own little world. They forget about you. And that's the same thing with your children too. They doing their own thing and they forget about you. So you
And
have to.
I thought about certain things, and this might be more of a lady thing than it is a male thing. Uh, Sometimes as uh, grandmothers, when in the granddaughters, as they get older, at first the granddaughters are cool, you
Uh-huh.
know, but when they get a certain age, they start to push back. Okay, they get teenage years, and grandmama is trying to check them, and different things, and there can be a little animosity between the grandmama and the granddaughters. Okay, uh, now, uh, and it can be a situation where, it's not a hate situation. It's just where, as they get older, they tend to want to be around people in their age group. Okay, now,
Mm-hmm.
there's different things that people do to keep themselves involved. Even mothers have to figure out a way to stay involved in their teenage girls' lives. You see mothers dressing like their daughters, okay? You see different things where they're going out and what they call it, uh, my mini me. And now back in the day, when I was growing up, women didn't have a mini me. Okay.
Yeah, you're
Today,
right.
they got a mini me. They did, oh, this my mini me. She just like me, and but that keeps the tempo going. Now, when they get about maybe 8, 7, they grow out of mini me around their 16, 17 birthday. You're not gonna have too many healthy relationships where you got a grandmama and a granddaughter or a mama, and they saying this is my mini me because they migrated into their own little thing. But it's important that you stay relevant, uh, and that takes some action, like you say. As you don't want to force yourself, but you got to say, hey, you got to involve yourself. Go out for pizza once a month with the family. Say the pizza's on granddaddy. Or but these are practices that you got to do on a regular basis. In order to stay relevant within the family, and then they can feel that you're doing something of importance. It's a little different for guys sometimes. You know, the women tend to keep the tempo going. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
guys, he's sitting on the sofa, and but it means something to a male to have the connection between him and his grandkids. Okay, now
Yeah.
it's more when there's a healthy relationship between that guy and his spouse. Okay, like I said, when divorces happen, that really shakes up the family. Okay, and that breaks down a lot of the things that can be helpful to the family. Okay, and it does help because I've seen situations where guys got remarried and the second family ended up taking care of the of the guy a lot more than his first family. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I always think about the what's that? The Williams sisters. Uh, the first group of Williams, they were not as close to their dad as Sabrina and
Sabrina
Zena.
and Venus.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Cause that was his second family. Now they might have said, well, daddy loved all of them, but he was closer to that particular side of the family. You know, because but anyway, those things happen, and then as you get older, and look what they did. Those girls took care of their dad, all the way till he passed away.
Oh, he died?
I think he did.
I didn't know that.
I have to look it up. Got to do a Google check, but I think he is.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I
but
didn't,
but
I didn't know that.
I don't. I just but anyway, I don't know if he's. I think he's dead. But what I'm saying, they became real close to their
Yeah.
dad. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
because he was their coach too.
he was their coach, their father, uh, uh, you know, uh, uh,
Bodyguard.
Yeah, yeah, bodyguard.
Yeah, yep, he was. Oh, okay. So it's important to have those relationships and do things with your family, so that
Yeah,
you can have that bonding. It's very important that you do that, and just to have friends outside of the family is important too.
right.
Cause again, when if
He's still alive.
huh,
He's still alive.
yes, you're
Yeah,
still
he's 81, 82 years old. Venus Williams' dad.
oh, oh okay.
Right.
Hmm.
But you again, when you are involved uh, with your family, you know your life is a better quality of life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's more people coming by. I've seen ministers. There was a minister that didn't have no kids,
Mm.
and when his health started to demise or go down, there were people within his church that came by to look after him, to make sure he was all right. And this
Yeah.
was a minister that didn't have any kids. Uh, I think he had outlived maybe one or two wives. Uh, but they looked after him because he had built an extended family beyond his family. Okay. Uh,
Mhm.
but again, maintaining your health. And none of us know how long we're going to be able to maintain a good quality of health. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're right.
you
So
know,
one of the things though, I want to let people know when the seniors start getting older, their mind goes, and so sometimes their personality change a little bit too,
yeah,
and they get meaner, and you can't take it personal because they don't mean any harm. That's just their mind going. A lot of people get Alzheimer's and dementia, and they I had one person say, this my mama is just pure hell. She just pure hell. You know? They stress out, and I've had other people to just get so stressed out because of the way their mom is treating them, lying on them and doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. But they can't help it.
right.
So people got to realize that and not take that personal.
Well, and it can be difficult. If you notice now, and seniors are notorious for doing this as they get older, because seniors be just like kids. They vie for attention. I've seen in families where it could be a mother that could say something like, he don't treat me right when you gone,
Mm-hmm.
and she just trying to throw something out there for attention. And I've seen siblings that bumped heads because they didn't know that or feel that the other sibling was taking care of mom as best as he or she could. I love my mom, but my mom would do things sometimes. She'd say, well, uh, I don't know if I'm gonna be in good hands with your brother. Well,
Yeah.
but I had to know my mom, and but it would be different things, and I've seen families fall out over something that a mother, especially the mothers, okay, mothers have a tendency to do this more than anybody. I've seen women that call the police on the sibling, uh, or because uh it would be something as simple as a remote control out of place, or it could be anything. Now those siblings start to really have problems with each other based on what, how somebody treated mama, and until one of them could be there with mother on a regular basis, they didn't
Mhm.
know that this was early signs of dementia, or even not dementia, just for attention. Okay.
Yeah.
uh, and we never know how we're going to behave once we get older. We can be ornery, uh, hateful, spiteful, don't want to do nothing because you can be in a situation, your medication, where you throw your medication away, and a person don't know if you're taking your medication or not. Uh, I was in a situation, and my mom, I didn't know if she had taken her medication or not.
Mm. Yeah.
Now, and then it's no way you can tell unless her behavior changed. But you can tell sometimes that if she didn't take certain things, her behavior was going to be a little different. But that took being around them. Again, as we get older, I don't know how my mindset is going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I'm pretty patient. I'm pretty humble. That type thing. You can get frustrated. You can get depressed. A lot of these things can come on us a lot easier as we get older. Okay. Plus the medications that we take. The medications can have side effects on you that you know, you be sleepy, you be tired, you don't feel like doing anything. All
Yeah.
those things that can affect how people around you. They say every time I go over Big Mama, she don't do nothing but sleep.
Yeah, and I pray that my health stay where I won't have to be on a whole lot of pills. Cause some there are some pills they're good for one thing, but they mess up something else. You know, so it might. I don't know, for high blood pressure they give you medicine for high blood pressure, but it's just a band aid. You need to find out what's actually causing the problem and fix that rather than just constantly staying on high blood pressure pills. Because if you forget to take it, you're going to be gone. Even diabetes, you got to fix the diabetes, eat the right foods and stuff so you won't have that problem. Because when you get older, you may not want to be taking a shot you
Right.
know, and seniors sometimes they don't want to take medicine, and you giving it to them, and you think they took it. When you leave out, they take it out and throw it away,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, y-
You're just like you said. See, uh, we can have a lot of different plans. Different things can reshape us as we get older. Just say if it's a husband and wife. Look at Jimmy Carter and Rosalind Carter. Now she just
mhm,
passed. I think she was 94. Jimmy Carter's like 97, something like that. Okay. Now,
mhm,
uh, because he's the president, the former president, uh, and how their family, extended family, uh, I'm trying to think. I think they only had one child, Amy
oh
Carter.
really?
Yeah, so I don't, but what I'm saying, they managed to stay together, and their health might have really started to decline over the last maybe 5 to 10 years. Okay.
Mhm,
She had some form of dementia, I think over the last 10 years. I think Jimmy Carter was doing stuff all the way up to around right at 90 because then he got diagnosed with some form of cancer. But, he's still, moving around. Okay.
mhm,
Well, if you can stay together, longevity is a little bit better. Okay. Because you got a companion. Like I said, when the couple, she was 90, I think 93, 94 when she passed, and he passed, he was 102. Okay.
mm.
Now, because they had, and they had reasonable health, uh, they weren't confined to wheelchairs. Okay.
Uh huh.
They were walking, and matter of fact, Miss Marshall was walking. She was 94. She didn't have a walker or nothing. She was getting around, still getting her hair done, all kind of stuff. But they were active seniors. And I'm not saying they was doing a whole lot of stuff. They stayed in their church. They you know uh, did all those things that kept them going and kept them mobilized. As long as you can keep some stuff going and keep yourself mobilized, your chances of living a healthy life as a senior is better.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And you know, a lot of seniors sometimes they say I'm too old to exercise, but every little bit of movement helps. You can exercise right there in the chair. You
Oh
know, there
yeah,
are all kinds of little things you can do right there in the chair. That movement helps to get the blood flowing and circulating. It helps, and you live longer.
yes. Well,
You live
well,
longer, and you feel better.
yeah. And if you hang around other seniors, one of the things I've found, with my mom, my dad, different ones, if you keep a good, healthy circle of people, and uh, you have a tendency to do more. For instance, uh, there was a lady in my mother's prayer group. I think she was like, my mom was like around 88, and this lady was 98. Okay,
Uh
now
huh.
she still stayed at home by herself. She didn't. This lady was a 90, but somebody came by to see her because she lived right next door to her son. Okay,
Uh
and
huh.
and all he had to do was walk, in the across the yard, and he was right there with mama. But she uh she could talk to my mom in a way that we couldn't, because she's a senior. She said, "Well, make sure you get your medicine. I take my, they could talk to each other, and that peer pressure. It's just like when you got kids and they go into daycare and they talking to other kids. They tend to be more happier, more friendlier, all that type of stuff. Well, it's the same way if you got other seniors that you stay involved with, even when you get some attacks to the body. Uh, it's more healthy. I was with a group of men, and I think all of them had a stroke. Okay, but
Mhm.
because they were fellowshipping with each other, they keep each other going. Hey, pick their arm up. I know you can get that arm up a little higher than that. The competition.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy because I'm like, man, these guys, they done had operation, open heart surgery, but they kept each other up. The tempo. Oh,
Yeah.
and as long as you got uh, a zeal for life, uh, it can be good. Okay. And
Yeah.
like I said, your finances got to be one thing that keeps things going. The other is got to be your health, and the other factor is your zeal for life. You got to have something that you're excited about. Because once you get retired from work, you find out they don't want you at work no more. You did 60 years at work. You
Yeah.
can't even, they don't even want you as a greeter at Walmart no more. They say, hey, you done did your service, you done had a great day, we're done.
And you know, and that's the sad part about aging. Some people just want to throw you away. Say you're too old. You
Yeah.
know, so you have to know that you're not too old to do stuff. You know, if you're keeping yourself up. And I was when you were talking about the medicine, I was thinking about a group of people. They got together, and that's all they were talking about. I'm taking this medicine. I got this
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
ailment and all that kind of stuff. What do you do for this and everything? They networking,
Yeah.
because all of them got those ailments. But they also now have senior centers where you can go and be with your, I ain't gonna say coworkers, your the
Your
people.
age group. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I will tell
yeah.
you something else that's powerful. Meals on Wheels, people that come by. My mom, man, her big thrill was the Meal on Wheels. Guy came by every Tuesday.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah, and that's like a check too, to check on you. Guy comes
Yeah.
by, she opened the door, she have a little walker right there, and it's about 10 o'clock, somewhere between 10 and 11, he come by, and it was like clockwork. So older people depend on a lot of things as they get older. The mailman comes by, we might not think of nothing about the mailman, but they'll wave at them. You get into certain things, the news coming on, different shows that they like, and it becomes part of their life. And the more things that you have that you can attach yourself to, and I do My dad does this now. There's a channel, don't nothing come on that but westerns. I think it's the old folk channel. You know, all Bonanza, Gunsmoke, all them shows come on there, and he in his world. You know.
Yeah, I know somebody like that here.
Okay.
Yeah, he loves his
Oh
westerns.
yeah, yeah. But you see you attach yourself to something that you like,
Yeah.
you know, and as long as you got all those things going, you can live a good quality of life. Now I know going to events and activities, sometimes the malls, a lot of people don't like to go. A lot of older people go to the mall during the day when the young people ain't there. Okay.
Yeah.
Walk around the malls early during the day, uh, no traffic, you know, you avoid a lot of that type stuff, you know. And you know, uh you can have a good quality of life. And I'm tell you this, if you can, and they got communities that are designed for older people down in Peachtree City, right here in Georgia. You know, they got the
Hmm.
little golf carts for the older people. They ain't driving cars. So you older people can walk and don't have to worry about people coming through the street racing and all this type of stuff. Because one of the biggest fears is injuries as you get older. Okay, if you can avoid injuries, you know, and things like that. So you know you got a child-proof neighborhood. But I've been through neighborhoods that were senior citizen proof. You know, they didn't have a
Senior
whole lot.
citizen proof?
Yeah, you know, they didn't have a whole lot of traffic coming through the neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
They had smaller yards. You know, you got granddaddy, he ain't out there trying to cut a whole acre, but you know, he can do a little garden around a little flower bed or something like that. Okay.
Right.
You know, they got enough where they can feel a part of something. See, as long as you can feel some like you got a part of something, you got somewhere to go, got something to do. There's a lady, and I think she was 100 years old, and she was in a hospice type situation. She outlived a bunch of them. What she would do, she go out and pick flowers. And it wasn't like she picked a dozen flowers. She picked one flower, she gave to the receptionist. She took one flower to the cafeteria and she brought one to her room. And she did this almost every day until she died. Well,
Mm.
she had a purpose, you know, and you know she had built in a relationship, even though her her family members probably were not coming to visit her because you know at 100, a daughter about 80 years old. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? See, and then all that type stuff, you know. But anyway, yeah. But I'm excited about going through the numbers. Uh, and big thing is keeping my sanity, keeping a good sense of humor, staying healthy, and
Yeah.
you know having a little money.
Yeah. And we can't forget about them. 'Cause even those who are in the assisted living facilities, don't forget about them. You know,
Yes.
if people they go on about their own world, but don't forget about them. You know,
Yeah.
like I know my company, we're going to the senior citizen this weekend to have a Christmas party with them, tell
Ah,
stories and do some entertainment. We're going to take them some house shoes and socks and stuff as Christmas presents. We're going to just love on them. You know, and so you got to do that because some of these people, like I said, it was one man I met in there. He's 103 years old. Probably done
oh,
outlived his children or grandchildren or something, you know.
okay.
So, you know, these people need people to love them and come and visit, and they get tickled to death. I remember when I had first moved to Atlanta, when I would go home, my mom would tell me about Miss Iredale. She said, Miss Iredale was asking about you. You ought to go see her. And all that. One day I went by, and it's like the woman was just tickled to death to see me. And I'm
Mm,
going, you know me, you know, this older lady, she was tickled to death. It's like it's joy, it's light. If you go and visit somebody, they love for you to go see them, love for you to remember them.
yeah,
You
especially
know,
during the holidays. I mean,
yes,
it's a good thing. Yes.
yeah, it is. And then when you don't do it, when you be wanting to, you thinking about it, and when they pass away, you have that guilt. I've been through that one too.
Ah,
I've been through that one. I said I'll go visit him when I come back. But thing is, he died before I came back.
ah,
This was a cousin, so I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. You know, so you don't put things off till tomorrow. Go
okay,
visit people while you can because they be wanting those visitations. They
right.
want it. And it lifts their spirit to know that they are loved. That is so important. And knowing that you looking out for their welfare and not just going there to try to boss them and control them. because some old people don't like for you to control them, even though you're trying to do the right thing. No, they're gonna buck like a wild horse. You
Oh yeah,
know?
yeah. They like big kids. They don't want to be told what to do, where to go, how to behave. But uh, and I pray that as I go through the numbers, God to keep. I think as you get older, you get a little bit more spiritual, connected. You might not
Yeah,
be how they say religious, but you become somewhat spiritually connected because you've seen everything, you've done everything, especially as you get the numbers close to 100. You've done everything but died, and you've experienced a whole lot of things. And the excitement about living is what keeps you going. You think about uh, anyone that puts in more than 90 years on the planet. Uh, Usually they are attached to a family in some way. Okay, and
hmm
people show them a lot of love. So there's a lot of encouragement for us as seniors as we go through the numbers to hang around. I'm
yeah,
excited.
yeah. And one of the things you can do, call up these younger people and say something to them. Hi, how you doing? What's life is like, or something.
Yeah,
Let them know that you still care about them. So, because communication goes two ways.
yeah.
you know, because if you don't call them up, they don't forget about you. Okay,
And
so,
what
so
we have to be like the comedian, how they say, Uncle Song, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it. You got to do something that keeps family connected to you, other than just being a grouchy. Where they say, man,
yeah,
drop a quarter in their pocket or something. At least they look for that quarter or something.
uh-huh. Yeah, they do. Kind of remind me of church when I was young. Whenever we go to church, there was this lady. She would always give you peppermint. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, always gave you peppermint at church, and that's what I want to do this weekend. Take all the older people some peppermint. For some
That's
reason,
good.
I want to take them peppermints, remind them, hey, this is what I used to get when I was younger. Y'all used to give it to me. Now I'm giving it to you.
Make sure it don't interfere with their meds.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hopefully it won't. Well, all of these people, they assisted living, so it's not like they're invalids or anything like that. They
Okay, okay.
they just there to be among their peers. That was the term I was trying to remember.
Oh,
Peers. They're among their peers, living together. Yep. So we are out of time. What is it you want to say before we leave? Oh, this backdrop only you can't see the whole thing. Only at an old folks' home. That's the movie
uh,
we're working on. Hopefully it'll
okay.
be out the first part of the year. So gotta keep your eyes open and go see that. Only at an old folks' home. You can't really see the characters
Oh,
back there, but those are a couple of them in the movie.
that's nice.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So we gotta see it. You want to say anything before we leave? It's time to get out of here.
Yes. Well, as a junior senior on the block, I'll be 6.5 downloading that 6.5 software. I'm excited about living. Um, and I have to be a lot more proactive in reaching out to my family and keeping in touch. So I make phone calls uh, to family members, try to get in touch with my nieces, nephews, cousins on their birthdays and holidays. Just say, hey, how you doing? I don't want nothing. Just want to say, hey.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's important too, just even with just your peers, to keep in contact with them, because I've had friends, I'm reaching out for them, and they've been dead. I called Gary, and his wife said he's been dead for 5 years. I'm going, oh wow, it's 5 years. Somebody else I was asking about, how's your brother? Oh, he's been dead for 5 years.
Mm.
You know, and it's bad to not keep in contact with people that you like. But
True.
it happens because life gets in the way, and you keep going and going. So we have to take the time out to remember people, check on and see how they're doing. Like I have a friend now I'm trying to reach out to. I don't know what's happening with them.
Mm.
You know, can't reach them. I at my age, people be falling off the planet. you know,
Oh
and
yeah,
you want to make that connection. You want to keep connected.
right.
You want to. Yep. But that is the end of our show. Just remember our seniors. Where who's taking care of us, who's looking out for us. Because there are people who are looking out for us, our family, our children looking out for us, grandparents, grandchildren are looking out for us. Congress, I don't know about them. Those people up in the office somewhere, they talking about cutting Social Security. It's not. Hopefully that won't happen, but it always come out. They want to take away from the seniors. We need help. We need things to come to us, not take away from us. Because as we get older, our money start dwindling and getting in old folks' homes and all of that kind of stuff. It takes a toll on you financially, mentally. You know, so we need help sometime. Who's looking out for us? But then too, we got to keep ourselves up. As you're approaching that age, keep yourself up, exercising, eating the right foods, take your vitamins and minerals, and have a healthy mind. Treat people right. When you treat people right, people will treat you right. Okay? What goes around comes around. So until next time, just be good. Okay? Y'all have a good one.